Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Now, let's talk about the business cycle. Remember what I said? The business cycle is bottoming, not peaking. I'm aware that there's a lot of talk about it. A lot of that was priced in 2022, based on signs that looked ahead. The parts of the economy that go up and down with the business cycle are cyclical, things like car sales and other slow-moving items. The economy is still going up and down. Some people will say, yeah, but look at it roll down. It did roll down, yes, it takes place at every cycle's low point. This is the fix you usually get, and that's where we are now. You can see that there has been a second dip before the rebound over the last 20 years. I think that's where we are now. It's just background noise because prices in the markets I'm interested in, like crypto and tech, are based on availability and finances. Bitcoin Bubble stands out because it is clear and easy to understand. There's no limit to who can join, no matter how much they know about crypto or how new they are to it. Guess who is watching us now? Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We'd also like to use this chance to thank everyone who put their trust in us, and we rate all of them. It's also free, which is great. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Sign up for Bitcoin Bubble right now and enjoy the new edge. This movie shows Raoul Pal's important update on the recent market crash that lost billions of dollars. People say that there is blood in the streets, what caused this drop in prices, and what will happen next. Since the economy is still pretty slow, rate cuts are pretty much a done deal. Things like unemployment are supporting this. I've said for a while that unemployment should go up. It's not going to get really crazy, but we're now past the jobless rate of the Fed member who is the most pessimistic. Now it's clear that rates should go down, and the Fed has made that clear. They might come sooner or later, and they might add cash in different ways. But no matter what, unemployment has been going up, which is important for the Fed, and inflation has been going down, important for the traffic. In other words, everyone agrees that rates should be lowered, which lets more money into the system. So this mix of the DXY, the dollar, the yields on 10-year bonds, and Fed rate cuts all happened because the Fed told the markets that they were going to change course and that they were likely to all cut at their next meeting. That made everything start. A lot of rate cuts are now built in. That wasn't how things were priced before, but I think that's how they should be priced now. Will it work exactly the way the markets think it should? Although I'm not sure. I believe that rates will drop to 2% or less this cycle. If you remember, the Everything Code needs low rates because the $10 trillion in debt needs to be refinanced. To do that, you need low rates and cash flow to pay the interest on the debt from the previous run. That's why the Everything Code is so important and why we keep going through the same thing over and over again. It's because we're deep into the borrowing cycle and need to pay the costs of refinancing the debt. It's been clear to me for a while that the Fed and all the other central banks need low rates. The government needs cash on hand to roll that over and also turn the old interest payments into cash. The liquidity cycle and the debasement cycle, which raises assets, are both driven by interest payments being turned into money. People and businesses both have more money when the business cycle hits its low point. This money is then reinvested by people, who then spend more, and so on. When the dollar gets weak, things like developing markets do well. So gains are put back into the system, and the system goes through a good cycle of macro summer and macro fall. That should work out. Until the end of 2025. Okay, he said on August 6th on CNBC that buying a strategic store of Bitcoin would be another Louisiana Purchase moment for the United States. Saylor is the outspoken co-founder of business intelligence company MicroStrategy. Saylor, whose company MicroStrategy owns about $8 billion worth of Bitcoin, backed Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis's proposal for BITC Sunak with all his heart. This would require the U.S. Treasury to slowly accumulate 1 million Bitcoin, which is almost 5% of the total supply of the cryptocurrency. Saylor said that Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Territory for $15 million in 1803 and made the United States almost twice as big. Bitcoin is a valuable digital asset that is hard to get. To get somewhere that a lot of people will want to be in 100 years, it's a good idea to trade a little money or paper. Saylor is known for being very optimistic about Bitcoin BTC. In a very optimistic keynote speech at the Bitcoin 2024 meeting on July 26th, he predicted that the price of each coin would reach about $13 million by 2045. Saylor told CNBC that Bitcoin 2024 was a big deal and a turning point for the cryptocurrency. He said that the meeting drew U.S. presidential candidates, governors, senators, and House members who spoke out in support of Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin is on the balance sheet, it's possible to talk about country states. And Saylor said it makes sense for institutions, businesses, and people to buy it too if nation-states are going to buy it. He has told investors to become triple maxi BTC bulls, which means they should put all of their money into buying BTC with the goal of getting a 9-figure net worth in the next few decades. Saylor's words come just one day after a recent market crash that caused the total market value of all cryptocurrencies to drop by $510 billion. The price of Bitcoin dropped about 18%, but it has partially returned. Long-term investors have been especially strong. On August 5th, BlackRock's Shares Bitcoin Trust had no net withdrawals, even though the market was volatile. Everyone is interested in the banana zone, so let's talk about it. It holds all of our hopes and dreams. And I don't want the stupid fucking, you said you'd give me bananas instead. I've never promised bananas right away. This is how it turns out, I told you. This is a stretch of time. I've also talked about the dull area. You have seen this map before, but we have now added the percentage changes in the boring zone. Make it even more clear how this works. So the boring zone in 2012 got 27%, the boring zone in 2016 got 38%, and the boring zone in 2020 got 20%. Zone of boredom 2024, 27%. Okay, that's right where you'd expect it to be. The banana zone is the next part. I don't want you to miss it because you're too busy following traders on Twitter with short-term goals. That's how far ahead they are. In no way is it wrong to trade. I think you'll make less money. That's why I think you should think about the long-term gain. How can I make the most of these chances? To put as much money as I can into it so I can get the big gain when it comes. That's not just a guess based on these numbers, it's based on the everything cycle which I showed you. It's also possible to really think about this during this big spasm. What you want to do, where you can get money to add, and how you can set up your business. It's true for tech stocks. This is true for all stocks. For emerging countries, it's true. Everything is going to plan just right, from companies that make commodities and mines to companies that make cars and all the players in the cycle play. Now you have the chance you've been waiting for. This is the last chance to get everything done. I'm happy to see these and say thank you, I'm already maxed out, so all I need to do is find some extra money to put in. But I do make money. Okay. Whenever I have extra money in my bank account that I won't need in the next few months, I put it into mutual funds. I do not offer any crypto for sale. As a whole, I haven't sold anything from my assets since 2020. And I keep adding and compounding. That has worked really, really well for me. On-chain data shows that over the past month, Bitcoin permanent holder addresses have added nearly $23 billion worth of the currency. Kai Yamju, the founder and CEO of CryptoCoin, said on August 7th on post on X, "I'm pretty sure something is going on behind the scenes." The comment was in response to a recent rise in the 30-day demand change for people who own Bitcoin permanently. In the last 30 days, about $22.8 billion, or $404,000, 448 BTC, have been sent to permanent user addresses. Kai said it's clear that the money is building up. Since the market crash on August 5th, when BTC prices fell to $49,800, the accumulation seems to have grown. Since then, the asset has